As both aging and obesity progress, a subtle but highly influential shift unfolds deep within the body, in the trillions of microbes that inhabit the gut. Known collectively as the gut microbiome, this microbial ecosystem is crucial for maintaining metabolic balance, supporting immune function, regulating appetite, and even influencing brain health. But with age and excess weight, the diversity and stability of this microbiome tend to decline, leading to a cascade of physiological disruptions. While these changes are often invisible, their metabolic and inflammatory consequences are not. In older adults and individuals with obesity, gut microbiome alterations can drive systemic inflammation, impair nutrient absorption, worsen insulin sensitivity, and promote further weight gain in a self-reinforcing cycle. In a healthy young person, the gut microbiome is rich in beneficial bacteria that help break down complex carbohydrates, produce vitamins like B12 and K2, support intestinal barrier function, and ferment dietary fiber into short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, such as butyrate, acetate, and propionate. These SCFAs are not only a primary energy source for gut cells, but also serve as anti-inflammatory molecules that support immune regulation and metabolic homeostasis. But with aging, there is a progressive reduction in microbial diversity, fewer types of bacteria, and often a shift in balance away from beneficial species like Bifidobacteria and Faecalibacterium prausnitzii. This reduction can weaken gut lining integrity and lead to a condition sometimes referred to as inflammaging, where chronic, low-grade inflammation becomes the metabolic baseline. Obesity compounds this problem by introducing dietary patterns that further disrupt microbial balance, typically diets low in fiber and high in saturated fats, sugars, and processed foods. These eating habits encourage the growth of pro-inflammatory microbes, such as certain strains of Firmicutes, and suppress the populations of fiber-fermenting species that produce protective SCFAs. This microbial imbalance, known as dysbiosis, not only increases gut permeability, commonly called leaky gut, but also allows bacterial endotoxins, like lipopolysaccharide LPS, to enter the bloodstream, triggering systemic inflammation. Over time, this contributes to insulin resistance, fat accumulation, and a worsening of metabolic disease. Importantly, studies show that people with obesity often harbor a less diverse and less metabolically favorable gut microbiome, even when accounting for calorie intake and physical activity. In older adults, these microbial shifts also impact the immune system, which becomes both weaker and more erratic with age. The gut microbiome educates and modulates immune responses, helping to distinguish between friend and foe. A less diverse microbiome provides poorer immune training and a greater tendency toward autoimmune or inflammatory conditions. This can exacerbate age-related vulnerability to infections, increase the risk of chronic disease, and diminish vaccine effectiveness. Meanwhile, poor microbial balance can also reduce the body's ability to properly extract and synthesize key nutrients, such as vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids, which further impairs immune and metabolic function. The good news is that the gut microbiome remains adaptable throughout life and can respond positively to dietary and lifestyle changes, even in the elderly or those with long-standing obesity. Increasing dietary fiber intake is one of the most powerful tools for improving microbial diversity and metabolic resilience. Fiber-rich foods such as legumes, oats, berries, vegetables, nuts, and seeds act as prebiotics, feeding beneficial bacteria and encouraging the production of SCFAs. Within just a few weeks of dietary change, measurable improvements in microbial composition and inflammation markers can occur. For older adults in particular, eating a Mediterranean-style diet rich in plant-based foods and fermented products like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut has been shown to increase microbial richness and support cognitive and immune health. Physical activity also benefits the microbiome. Exercise increases microbial diversity and promotes a higher proportion of SCFA-producing bacteria, particularly when combined with a balanced diet. Sleep quality, circadian rhythm regulation, and stress management all play additional roles. Chronic stress and poor sleep are linked to microbial shifts that promote inflammation and insulin resistance, reinforcing the need for holistic interventions in aging and obesity care. Probiotic supplementation is sometimes considered as a strategy to support gut health, but its effects can be inconsistent, and benefits may depend on the specific strains used and the individual's baseline gut composition. While probiotics can help temporarily restore certain bacterial populations, They're most effective when paired with dietary prebiotics that support long-term colonization and resilience. In certain medical situations, such as after antibiotic use or gastrointestinal illness, probiotics may offer clearer benefits, but for most older adults, food-based approaches offer safer and more lasting results. In conclusion, changes in the gut microbiome represent a critical and modifiable factor in the intersection of aging and obesity. The decline in microbial diversity may begin quietly, but its effects ripple outward, disrupting metabolism, weakening immunity, promoting fat gain, and accelerating inflammation. However, these changes are not fixed. By nourishing the gut with fiber-rich, whole foods, engaging in regular movement, and managing stress and sleep, individuals can rebalance their internal ecosystem. In doing so, they don't just improve digestion, they reshape the very foundation of metabolic health and slow the processes that drive both obesity and age-related decline.